When I left religion, I started to notice how toxic and unhealthy and dangerous a lot of the ideology of religion is. And not only are approximately 25% of girls and women abused, it's rumored that 16% of boys under the age of 21 are abused. I think those numbers should be 2 or 3 times what they are, because we know that men are not as likely as women to report these kind of things. I grew up Southern Baptist. They are the most prolific Protestant denomination for CSA and SA. Recently, I've seen that the Assemblies of God has come under fire for their cover-up of CSA. And as long as religion holds the power and sees women as inferior and African American people as a disease and trans and gay people as a scourge of God, we don't have any hope of being a better community. The one way people and community changes is just not giving a crap about what a made-up God or religion has to say about anything. The most moral people in society don't want anything to do with the toxic, unhealthy stereotypes of religion. And one abuse is bad enough. Hundreds of kids. I will never forgive my parents for putting me in an environment where I had the highest chance of being indoctrinated, abused, and harmed. There's no way my parents didn't know that when you're around religious extremists, these things don't happen. I will never forgive my family for it. Luckily, I wasn't targeted, but I know many people who left churches due to these kind of things. And I never tell survivors what to do. They have to decide what's right for them. But church has consistently shown they do not care about the safety of kids or protecting the already afflicted survivors. Nothing good the church can do, nothing they've done, nothing they're doing, and nothing they're planning to do will ever make these things go away. It will never fix the utter hypocrisy, the disdain, the hatred that these survivors have experienced. And you don't have to be a survivor to be affected by just the lack of compassion these churches can't or won't show to people. There's proof that almost all of these churches knew for decades people had reported it, and they did nothing. And moving someone to another community is not doing something. It's called Where's Waldo? Moving someone around isn't doing something, it's hiding something. And anyone who knew it and did not stop it, didn't report it, should be in prison. You're causing the delinquency of a minor by allowing these people access to children. I will never take any child to a religious environment. And anyone who calls himself a Christian is a member of a community that has utter contempt for SA and CSA survivors. They care more about the comfort of a white, straight man in a position of authority, a pedophile, more than they ever cared or even hinted at caring about innocent, afflicted survivors. There is nothing but contempt from me for religion. I don't care how much money they give to the poor. Anyone who allows a known pedophile to be around anyone, regardless of age, even though age matters, you should be in prison. You are an awful human being. You're a monster. And I've been a licensed therapist. If anyone hints to me that they're a survivor, I offer them emotional, psychological comfort. I give them business cards of people to talk to, like therapists and police. And I tell them, if you can, tell somebody so you're not alone. Call the police. And if anyone ever admits to me they've abused a child, I will immediately call the police and bar them from ever stepping near me. Anything less, you're a monster. And anyone who calls himself a Christian is supporting, financing, and aligning themselves with a group of people that voted for a rapist for president. They also support and financially push the agenda of keeping these strongholds of abuse in place. So, people who call themselves Christians, give money, celebrate their religion, are enabling this behavior. If you're a Republican and you remain a Republican while the leader of your group is a pedophile, a rapist, that makes you okay with rape. And it makes you a racist too. If I ever found out that the political party I was a part of was doing the things the Republican Party was doing, I would never return. I would leave. I would strike my name off that political party. I would never vote for their interests ever again. So no, I have nothing but contempt for Christianity because I know exactly what it's capable of doing. It's not pro-life. It's not pro-life. Because pro-life, if a woman calls you, hundreds of churches, and the people who aren't Christians are more likely to help her than actual Christians, you're not pro-life if you don't care about children. Covering up pedophilia in churches for half a century, you're not pro-life. You're something much worse. So no. These people are awful. And my family still calls themselves Christian Republicans. Both of those groups protect pedophiles. I don't know how they live with themselves. But when they talk to me about the joys of being Christian and Republican, the first thing out of my mouth is, your groups support pedophiles. You're not a good person. So don't lie to yourself and say you are. Because you're not. So, growing up is realizing that everything I was taught is just awful. And that coming out gets no response because they don't care. Because they're more worried about what they're going to lose than what's good for me. And you can't call yourself a good person if you vote to take away people's SNAP, vote to take away women's rights. Every woman has a right to an abortion. Everyone has a right to live their life the way they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody. I have compassion for people who survived religious abuse in any way. I have my own spiritual abuse. Luckily, it wasn't physical. That doesn't make it better. And I don't care what good the church does. They've made it pretty clear they don't give a damn about vulnerable people. Because when you only care about vulnerable people when they're at their most vulnerable, they start seeing a way to make more money. They care more about their image than they do innocent kids. They're just awful, awful, awful. And I want nothing to do with religion.